In this video, I'm going to show you a alternative technique to adding the decals to the features of the CubeeCraft model, as well as I'll show you how to make some drawing files to make some drawings of your finished craft. So here I have Leonardo, and he is almost done, except for his feet. And I'm going to show you another way. It'll take a few less steps in order to place all the decals, but it'll also require some steps outside of Autodesk. What we can do is, if you have access to a photo editing program such as Photoshop, you can crop down to just the image that you need, or just the part of the image that you need from the design. Other programs will work as well. Photoshop just happens to be the one I am using. So I have the image open in Photoshop, and I'm going to just roughly resize it. And then I'm going to zoom in. I want to just crop the portion that I need of the legs here, but I'm going to crop even a little bit beyond the outside boundaries. I'm going to crop inside to just to the color. It's important, and this is admittedly a little bit tricky to get to work in Inventor, but it's important that the graphic be especially taller than the shape is inside Inventor. So I cropped it there, even past a little bit into the border, and then I'll save this as Leonardo legs. Then back in Inventor, I'll go into the legs part, create a new sketch on the front, place an image, the Leonardo legs, on that. I want to reposition it so the legs are right in front. And now notice it's very important that this does not go beyond either side of really what's the top and the bottom of the legs. I could go up a tiny bit more. Looks pretty good, so I'll finish that. Then I'll go to create my decal. This time, however, I want to make sure I choose Wrap to Face. And then I'll choose the image and the face and press OK. And if everything worked out correctly, it actually wrapped that image all the way around, and I can see that I only had to do one decal, and I wrapped it all the way around. The trick is, if you didn't get it to work, probably what happened is that it will not wrap to faces in two different directions. So it will wrap around an object, it could wrap over an object, but if it's spilling over on both sides, top and bottom, and left and right, it's not going to wrap to the faces. It has to only be spilling over in one direction. And if you're not getting it to work, that's probably what's happening. So now I can return, and now I have my completed Leonardo with all of the faces covered from my CubeeCraft. Now I'll save that assembly, and now I can make some drawing files to show off my Leonardo. So I will close him and do a new drawing file. I'm going to use a custom drawing sheet I have for my classes. It allows you to edit, put in some custom fields. So we'll say this course is for Inventor tutorials, CubeeCraft. Leave the rest blank for now. I'll just have our logo and our high school name there. But now I'll place in some views of my finished CubeeCraft. So I want to choose my assembled Leonardo that has the decals on it. And then as he's hovering in the background, you can see that he's right there, ready to be placed. For the cover sheet, though, I think I'll do a different view for him. So I'm going to go to the Change View Orientation. And I like to do a perspective view. I think that gives a nicer look to it because it gives the actual perspective to um, perspective changes in dimension. And that looks all right. So I'll finish that. And I want to make sure that I have the shaded button on when I place them. And I'll make them a little bit larger. I'll make them 1.5 to 1. Maybe I'll fill the screen a little bit more. I'll just place them where I want them. And right click. All right. And I'll make another page. So I'll go to New Sheet. This time I'll start with standard front view. I'm going to bring the size back down though to 1:1 so that I can put in a few different views. Again, I want to see the decal, so I want to put shaded on. And I'll see front view of Leonardo, a couple of side views, and I'll throw in a couple of isometrics as well. Isometrics are overlapping a little bit, so I'm going to go back and edit those to make them a little bit smaller. And I like it. So I can save that, I can print that, and I have my Leonardo CubeeCraft with several different views of him with all his decals on.